Hey guys, Ryan and Hunter from MACkite here. Today we're talking about the brand new foil drive Fusion and the foil drive Max. We're going to highlight some of the key differences and talk about what kind of rider is going to enjoy or prefer each type of foil drive here.
So jumping right into it, if we're looking at the base unit, the part that the mast attaches to, the foil drive Fusion base unit's gonna have a little more in the front, and it's gonna be a little longer in the back than the foil drive Max. So if you're putting this in a trench board, it still has the same depth as the Max. The Fusion has the same depth as the Max, so it's gonna still sit flush in your trench board, but you will have to watch out. Since it's longer, it may not fit perfectly where you want it in your trench board. If you're having the nose of your Max unit all the way in the front of that board, your mast is gonna sit further back in that same one because you got more in the front of the Fusion. Also, the key difference with the Fusion is the potential attachment of the Barnacle. You don't have to use the Barnacle, but if you have an integrated mast, you'll use this Barnacle, which is essentially an extender of your power source to get it closer to the mast to accommodate for integrated masts. Other than that, this base unit, that's really the key differences. Same latches on both the Max and the Fusion. And then, I guess one more difference that I forgot about is the Fusion's gonna use M7 bolts, whereas the Max, you can use M8 bolts in it. That's good to note because we went out and forgot about that, even though we had just learned about that, and had to come back to get some M7 bolts. So good thing to note is the use of M7 bolts in the foil drive Fusion.
Kit does come with M7 bolts.
So you shouldn't have to worry about it.
You're already set up with what you've got, but if you're coming from a Max unit or you have a bunch of hardware in your car like we do, important thing to note there, make sure you get the M7 bolts that come with it, or have a standard M6 bolt will work as well. You just can't go up to M8 with the new one. So similarities here, you are running the same high power motor that you can run with the Max is what's coming with the Fusion. The pod, and this is actually an integrated mast here, but if you get the kit without an integrated mast, it's going to be the same pod, same cable. So what is the top half right now? What's normally the bottom half is going to remain the same, but the base unit is going to change, as well as the battery and the remote. So the battery here, we have with the Max 40 volt, was this 594, I want to say? 594 watt hours. With the Fusion, we have a 43 volt, 864 watt hours. So it is a decently larger battery. It also has more voltage. So what that means, you get more power, more runtime, which is awesome. Key thing here to note, you cannot use your 40 volt charger from your Max with the Fusion. Different chargers, different battery sizes, different chargers. So that is not, you're not able to swap those chargers back and forth. So definitely take note there. Other than that, battery weight is going to differ. Obviously we have a heavier battery here with the Fusion because it is larger. You can see, flip it around here, it is a bit larger. That's without the nose cone on this one. Let's see what we got. We'll slide the nose cone on there, something like that. So it's a bit larger, a little bit heavier, but you're getting longer runtime, more power with it. So that's the trade-off there to that. Moving along to the remote.
Well, I think also another good thing to note with the Fusion battery, this nose cone is connected to the battery.
Yes.
Just a little fun fact with that. The nose cones are actually the same size, but this one comes connected to the battery. It is one and the same, whereas obviously the Max, you have a separate nose cone and battery.
And part of the reason they did that is because they jammed so many cells in here They really integrated this casing well with the nose cone, so that makes it a little bit wider, so you don't have quite as much room for the bolts, hence the M7 bolts instead of allowing for M8. So there's a lot more battery in here that you're getting with the Fusion than what you are with the Max high power. Only sacrifice there, really, I would say, being weight.
Yep.
So moving on to the remotes. So we've got the V2 remote coming standard in the Max kit, the V3 remote coming standard in the Fusion kit. You can flip these over. Larger screen on the V3 remote. It is easier to see. Also by the trigger. You have a trigger guard on the V3, no trigger guard on the V2, as well as the menu features. So on the V2, you have a power button on the side and a thumb trigger as well. Whereas the V3, you can see over there,
just 3 buttons right on the front, on the top of it, as along with the throttle.
Yes. So there are, I think, all the same features that you get in the V2 are also in the V3 and then some. So the V3 remote, one notable feature with it is the tilt and roll sensor. If you're using it with your Fusion, you can still set the tilt and roll sensor so it will shut off when the four-wheel drive tilts or rolls too far. So you're able to set that to a predetermined angle. There's some other cool features on the V3 remote as well.
Yeah, so V3 remote will essentially track your session. It'll tell you distance, speed, like your top speed, your current speed. It'll tell you how long you've been out for, which is really cool. It's kind of all in one with the remote, and that'll connect to the four-wheel drive app where you can then kind of see all these sessions combined
and it's
in one space.
Super easy to update your remote with the app too. So that's cool as well. Also, there's a lot of screens on here. Now that the screen's bigger, it's really easy to read. You can cycle through the different screens and you can see cool stats like battery temp, RPMs, just a whole bunch of different kind of gauges on there, as well as your session stats with the GPS too.
And we talked about this throttle guard. It's also removable if you want to run it like your V2 without the throttle guard. You can just take it off with 2 small little bolts.
So if you're running 5mm mittens, you don't have to worry about getting your finger in there. It is removable.
Yep.
One thing real quick that I realized we forgot with the base kit is the four-wheel drive Fusion. If you tip that up, the four-wheel drive Fusion has an anode. Is it right there? Oh, over here. Anode. So that helps take some of the corrosion if you do accidentally leave your stuff together, if you don't do a great job rinsing it off. That is kind of a secondary feature there to help other parts not corrode as much. Obviously, after every session in salt water, you want to thoroughly rinse everything, but super cool feature there. All right, guys, so we've got 2 fairly similar units, but they are definitely different. You've got a lot longer battery range, more power with the Fusion, a little less battery range, a little less power with the Max. Difference between the 2 units being weight. You also get the V3 controller coming with the Fusion as well. So who is going to want to get a four-wheel drive Max and who's going to want to get the four-wheel drive Fusion? What kind of rider are we looking at for the Fusion? What kind of rider are we looking at for the Max? If I'm someone watching this video, how am I going to be able to tell if I should go one way or the other?
For sure. I think if you are an e-foiler or if you're just looking for the maximum runtime, you want to stay in the water for as long as possible and that's what you value most, I think you're going to go with the Fusion. This battery is going to give you more runtime. So if you're e-foiling around, you're going to get more runtime out of it. So definitely look for the Fusion for something like that. Now, if you're someone who cares more about performance on waves, you want to be able to pump the best you can, I would look towards the four-wheel drive Max for that. We already know that we're able to pump it very well. It still lasts a long time in waves, but you definitely get a little more performance because of the lighter weight of the system.
Yeah, yep, and I think the four-wheel drive did a great job with distributing the weight on the Fusion, so it's not all out in front of where you're standing. They're not adding a ton of extra swing weight. It's very well balanced but it does feel a little bit heavier. So I think you're spot on there. Anyone that's looking to kind of bridge the gap of an e-foil, if you will, Fusion's going to be great. If you've got friends and family that want to get out there, maybe you live on a lake and you want to go e-foil around, but then you want to play in the waves, Fusion is a great option, as well as downwinders.
Yep.
If you're looking for some long-range downwinders where you're going to ride straight upwind for as far as possible and then downwind back to your car, that is a great option there. You've got a lot longer battery life. Again, with the way they distributed the weight, when you're up and riding on the swell, and you're just doing that kind of downwinding, mellow carving back and forth, it feels really nice.
Yeah.
However, the Max, like you said, a little higher performance because you're dropping some weight there. Doesn't have quite as much power. So if you want to ride your smallest foil, your smallest board, you do need to be a little bit more skilled rider, I would say. Perhaps if you are a high-level foiler already and you're looking to ride primarily in swell and waves, good option. If you're brand new to the sport or you're looking to get some extra range, some extra distance, the Fusion's the foil drive for you.
Yeah, and also worth noting, we rode this in some smaller surf earlier today, and you're still able to pump the Fusion and connect some waves with it. So I think that's worth noting, that it's not impossible to connect waves and still do some of these things. You just might not be pumping as long because of the little bit of added extra weight, but still pleasantly surprised with how it did in the surf, turning it, pumping, connecting a wave. So
yeah,
worth noting.
Another thing to note is if you are looking at e-foils, maybe you're not even looking at going into the surf, but you want a performance setup.
Yep.
Especially something you can tailor to you. You want to be able to pick out your specific board that you want to ride, your specific foil that you want to ride. You don't want an e-foil that's 60 pounds. This is a great option even as a dedicated e-foil setup to kind of get you in that performance e-foil category. So I would say there's quite a few variables here, definitely a few different types of riders that are going to prefer each one. We're stoked on the new foil drive Fusion. Do want to note it's not necessarily a replacement for the Max. I think the Max still has a dedicated place
100%
in the market, so there's definitely still riders that are going to prefer the Max over the Fusion, and same the Fusion over the Max. So if you guys have any questions on which category you might fall into, if you're a Max rider, if you're a Fusion rider, don't hesitate to give us a call at the shop, send us an email. We're here to help you guys out. Hopefully we'll catch you guys on the water.